for many years, we ate eggs poached in tomato soup. And in the early days, it was just the old standard Campbell's tomato soup that we'd heat up and then poach some eggs in it. And I remember once mentioning to my mother that it was, it was great. We love that stuff, and I'm glad that she showed me how to do that. And she said, I've never, ever done that. I didn't show you how to do that. So it was a bit of mystery for a few years. I had no idea where I first came across these eggs poached in tomato soup. And then it was actually at my father's funeral. He was 96 when he passed away. I was at my father's funeral. I was talking to my cousin, Karen Earhart, and we were just chatting and reminiscing and talking about the good old days. And she said, yeah, you remember you used to go over and you used to love that tomato soup with eggs poached in it that my mother used to make. And I said, there you go. So I finally found out where I got that notion from of poaching eggs in tomato soup. And in recent years, I started making my own tomato soup with just some canned tomatoes and basil and garlic and onions and stuff. And I just like it a lot better than Campbell's tomato soup. So now I poach eggs in my own homemade soup. And so this is what I'm going to show you here today, is how to poach some eggs in some homemade tomato soup. We've heated up a pan, put some olive oil in it, put the onions in there and the sliced garlic, and just kind of saute them up till they've softened up a little bit. Then we want to season things a little bit. A little bit of salt, a little bit of pepper, to our pot we're going to add our can of diced tomatoes, and also our can of crushed tomatoes. And then once the tomatoes are in, we're going to take and add all of that basil we chopped up. In my opinion, the more basil, the better in this dish. Stir that all together, let it heat through, and then we're going to turn the heat right down and let this simmer for a while. Cooktop here, the back burner is a much smaller burner, and that's where I like to simmer things. Now that our soup is simmered for quite a while and everything is cooked through, and the flavor of the onions and the garlic has been absorbed by everything else and the basil, sometimes it gets a bit thick. So what we might do to just thin that down a little bit, you could add water, I guess, but I like to add a little bit of chicken stock because it thins it down, plus it adds a little extra flavor to it. I'm just going to take and put a couple of ladlefuls of soup in this pan. You have to have enough to cover the bottom of the pan, make sure it's completely covered. And then we can, like I say, put this on another burner, keep it hot, and get it bubbling again, and actually we'll put some eggs in it and poach them in that. Maybe we'll put a little bit of pepper on them. Then we're going to cover them with a lid and let them cook away. Once our eggs are cooked to the level that you desire, then we're going to take them out of there and put them in a bowl that already contains a bit of soup. So we'll take a bit more of the soup that's in here, put it in the bowl. Then we'll just take a large spoon and we'll grab our eggs out of here and put them on top of the soup in the bowl. And it just, it makes a great lunch. So there you have a bowl full of my homemade tomato soup with some eggs poached on top of it.